Om Shanti. Good morning. Very good morning from Aberdeen Hindu Temple in Stony Woods in Aberdeen. This is Sunday, the 2nd of April, and as you can imagine, there's a great festivity going on with the marriage of Sita Ram. But today I just wanted to share some points on self-respect. Self-respect is really when we get to know, we can start to practice self-respect when we get to know our own self, and we actually, by getting to know our own self, we start to appreciate who we are and what we are, and we actually learn to take care of ourselves. We look after our own selves and make sure that we stay well, we stay healthy, we are rested, we stay content, that we pay attention to our relationships, to whatever things that we have to do in our lives, our commitments. When I actually take care of these ones, then I will receive respect and success in return, and therefore I will actually be satisfied with my life, and that would make it very, very easy to have self-respect. Self-respect actually goes away when things don't go as I would like them to go, when there are difficulties encountered, when I have conflicts in my life, when I do things that I really didn't want to do, and they just slipped out, and I didn't stay true to my own values, to my own expectations of how I would like to live my life. And when I actually become weak, when I do not pay attention to what I really want to have in this life, what sort of values I want to express, what sort of relationships I want to have, then my self-respect starts to wane. Because sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I act according to what I want to be, and sometimes I don't. So the first question, I guess, is to understand is, who do I want to be? What is it that I would like to do? Where is it and how is it that I want to experience myself, and where do I want my life to go? In Raj Yoga, the first step is really to get to know the self, because we understand that we have been around the cycle of birth and death for many, many lives, and therefore we have incurred karma. We are carrying with us the baggage of all that time, and therefore how is it that I'm expressing myself? Am I actually acting out of or reacting to situations? Or am I actually co-creating my own future and my destiny by paying attention to my values, to my qualities, to have the highest sort of interactions that I want to have in my life? So initially, I need to understand that I'm a human being, which means that I have a human form, I have a body, but my living form is the soul, the being of light, the eternal one, the one that never ever is destroyed or never ever dies. And this soul has been going around the cycle of time by taking several different experiences in different lives, maybe in different cultures and different locations, where the soul is learning and becoming. So what would learning be for if the becoming is not the highest that you can become? And when we look at the world around us, it is very difficult to see that there is actually a very good life. There's a lot of sorrow in the world, and there's a lot of suffering. And it might be that here in Aberdeen, we're living still very protected lives and very good life. We have everything we need, nothing is lacking. And yet, I cannot just ignore what is happening in the world around me, but I have to take it in and see how I can serve the world, how I can actually contribute to a better new world to come, how I can help that transformation. Because at the moment the world is suffering, and it is possible that it might get even worse. But at some stage, once it's reached its peak, there will be a transformation, because there will be a transformation in the hearts and minds of those who are in this world. And the hearts and minds, why? Because the mind actually requires the support of the heart to develop highest and most elevated thoughts and awarenesses. The mind cannot really think anything negative. It is when we are hurt in our hearts, when we feel sadness, when we feel pain, that the mind also feels sadness and also feels pain. So there's something called the heart-brain coherence. So there's a communication between the two. And so what I need to do, I have to start to create good feelings, good thoughts, and the feelings become thoughts, the thoughts are feelings. And so whatever I create inside myself, in my heart, I have to do everything with a lot of love. Let me wake up in the morning and really welcome the morning, the day into my life. I had a recent experience where one day I was seeing just the difficulties and the pressures that I was experiencing in life. And the next day, I decided that that is okay and that I can cope with it. And my whole attitude and my whole awareness just changed. And the day was a very valuable one, a very enjoyable one. And I was able to maintain good relationships, good interactions throughout the day. And I even experienced fun. And so it all starts inside myself, of how I appreciate myself and how I value the strength that I have. How am I going to be able to overcome the difficulties, and are those difficulties really going to stay in my life, and how can I change them to transform them? This is where meditation is really important, because in meditation I learn to create a space, a loving space, a space where I connect with the divine, a space when I am in yoga, which means in communication with that higher source that is beyond my human experience, but who is the mother and who is the father, who is the companion and the friend. And so when I actually pay attention to that relationship first and foremost, then that communication happens, that yoga happens, and it almost is as if it clears all the difficulties that I experience in life, and they transforms them. And the experience is that whilst in my mind I could only see one sort of, or maybe two or three different options of how situation would pan out, when I'm actually in that stage, when I'm detached, I'm in connection and yoga with the Supreme, when I become light, then everything around me just starts to flow in different ways and giving me different options and different opportunities that I didn't think were possible in my life. And so there will be many more options and opportunities that I didn't think that I could have. And so when I have self-respect, then I have very deep anchored faith that I am the one who is aware of myself, who has got to know this Supreme, the Source, the Divine, and that I'm actually working on myself. I'm self-caring, first of all. I'm to start with looking after myself, and then as I do create that positive energy in myself, that courage, that empathy, that cooperation, then that flows over from myself and affects everybody else. And meditation doesn't mean that you have to have a peaceful place from which to meditate, but you have to be able to get into that stage where you can meditate even in a noisy place like the temple today, where there is a lot of preparation for a lovely celebration to happen. But it should not affect me because it's not external quietness, but an internal peace, internal awareness that I'm cultivating. And it's a very good opportunity to do that while things are maybe not settled all around you. And that is okay. So, even that awareness of that is okay, that ability to let go, that ability to give blessings and good wishes is very important to create that stage where I can give myself forgiveness, I can bless myself, I can look back into my life and see all the good things that I have experienced and that I will experience, because at this very moment in time, each one of us is a co creator who is creating the future, the options and opportunities that are to come in the near future, and that will be our life in times to come. So we need to pay attention and make sure that we can create those beautiful experiences that we want to experience. And yes, our aim is to become the highest form, the most divine, most cooperative and benevolent form. And here in the West, we see this form as the angel. Just imagine yourself to become an angel who is detached from the world. In fact, you never see the feet of an angel. It's almost as if they're flying above anything, any difficulties that are in this world. And yet, at the same time, they give an energy that will uplift everybody around them and will create happiness. In the East, the angels are seen as deities, and those deities are the ones who give boons, the ones who give blessings, the ones who change difficult omens into good omens, and a good future and a good destiny. And in fact, that is why people go, devotional people go and pray to the deities so that their fortune is changed. In Raj Yoga, we understand that the fortune is created and the type of thoughts and the type of awareness that I have, and most and foremost in that connection that I have with the Supreme. Now, I, the soul, the being of light, I'm the living form. I'm incarnated in this body, and I'm like a shining star in the center of my forehead. The Supreme Soul, the Source, the Divine, the one beyond this world, comes from a place that is in absolute stillness. It's absolutely pure. It is light, it is benevolent, there is no action. The Buddhists call it nirvana, the Hindus Bahist, the Muslims the Garden of Allah. But it's a place that we imagine to be with interspersed golden red light. And it's an absolutely divine fragrance and elevated stage. So let's go into meditation now. Amidst all the noise around you, become still and become quiet inside. Allow yourself to sit comfortable, and for the next 10-15 minutes, just detach yourself from the world around and see how everything cooperates with you. Take some nice deep breaths. And the breath that calms the mind is by taking in the breath for the count of 4, holding for the count of 7, and then breathing out for the count of 8. So let us start this. Take a nice deep breath, hold it for 7, and breathe out for 8. Take in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. I invite you to continue this type of breathing throughout this meditation. Allow yourself to be detached from your surroundings and become aware of being a conscious light, a being of light, incarnated in this body. And as the light awakens, as the third eye awakens, the soul shines light to the whole of the self that is relaxed. And as it is relaxed, its energy is positive, it's peaceful, it is loving, and it is light. When I go into that awareness of I, the soul, I can connect with the Supreme Soul, the being of light, who is in a world beyond the physical world, in a place of golden red light, where there's stillness and light, where there's absolute benevolence and unlimited love, safety and happiness. Nothing is lacking, and no desires are there, but just goodness and just peace. And in that stage, when I empty myself of any worries or any conflicts or difficulties, pressures that I have experienced, over the past week or longer, just let go of them and lovingly give them to the Supreme, to the Divine, to the Source, to change and transform them and create a beautiful world in which everything is in order, all is light and easy. And as you feel that peace, that quietness inside yourself, everything around you also starts to settle down and come into order. From chaos, there is peace and there's quietness. Send good wishes to the whole world. Whatever difficulties the world is experiencing, when I'm in my stage of self-respect, I can create good wishes no matter what's happening in my own life, because I stand above it, like a bird seeing the landscape on the bottom from high above, and seeing therefore the past, the present, and the future. And being aware of the future, I pay attention to my thoughts, my feelings, my awareness. And my foremost and highest aim is to create goodness, to bring benefits, to support and to cooperate. Leaving everything behind that has been heavy or difficult, but connecting with that is positive, that is high in quality, high in awareness, and high means light, not heavy and dark, but connect with the light inside you, that is in between your eyebrows, in the center of your forehead. And most importantly, yoga means I connect with the Supreme. I connect with the one that is beyond this world. And as I'm in that position of seeing the world in front of me, together with the Divine, the good wishes go to the whole world in an unlimited way, almost blessing every sentient being, blessing all matter, every element of this world, the water, the air, the light, the earth, the ether, and being in that connection, in that unity, in that oneness, together with the Supreme. The energy that flows becomes one of benevolence, of goodness, of untangling that which is not right, and creating an order, creating beauty all around. And as I'm serving in that way, as I'm giving and sharing that beautiful energy, that stage of the angel, that stage that has been influenced and has been guided by the Supreme, I experience happiness. And in my happiness, there is health. In my health and happiness, there's wealth and well-being. Because when everything is in order, when everything is light, when there's goodness all around me, when there are good wishes and pure feelings, then everything just flows and is abundant. And that is the time that we are entering now. There might still be a time of difficulty, of maybe not so nice things to see, and yet my whole aim has to be to share light, to share love, to share peace, to cooperate, to create friendship, and to support others. And as I perform these actions, as I connect with everybody in that elevated way, the world slowly starts transforming. The earth calms down. The air, the winds settle down and become a gentle breeze that moves through the leaves and respects all life, with birds singing on the trees, with the water flowing gently, purifying itself as it flows down the river and through the earth to create a well of pure water that is going to be supportive of life on this earth. And the light, the sunshine will be gentle. It will not scorch, but will create and enable life. And the ether, that's the space when we become subtle, when we are in that awareness of I, the soul. And in that subtle being, in that subtle awareness, I'm just completely filled with good wishes and pure feelings. And this energy just permeates everything around me. It touches the hearts of those around me in an incognito way, in a very subtle way, because the ether is that space through which we communicate without words, without signals, without sound. And in that communication, it's a communication through our hearts, it's the communication through our eyes, it is that communication through our presence. Because when I'm connected with the divine, when I've reached my energy up to the divine, and I share that energy with the world, that energy transforms and cleanses and renews the world. So we are here in an amazing time, a time where we are co-creating with the Supreme and where we are giving and sharing with the world that beautiful energy that comes from the Supreme. So not to have any doubts and never to let go of the hands, of your hands with the hand of the Supreme. Feel that beautiful canopy of protection to be around you and to give you light and to give you strength and to provide happiness to all around you. Let there be goodness at all times. Let there be the aim of all beings to share that light of happiness, that light of goodness, good wishes and pure feelings. Let it reach all the hearts and all the minds. Om Shanti. Om I am. My nature is, my essence is Shanti, peace. Om Shanti. I am a peaceful soul. My message is of peace. My nature is of peace. May your day be filled with happiness, peace, love, and the light of the Supreme. Om Shanti.